and welcome to the Blank Cover Network. I'm BCV Dom, and today we are talking about, well, it goes without saying what we're talking about. Galactus is here. So this is Haslab number 2, has started arriving on people's doorsteps. Very exciting for all of us collectors. However, how many backers, I forget how many backers there were for Galactus, but very exciting times. I'm going to do a slightly different video to how I normally do it because there's a lot to unpack about Galactus. So I'm going to do this in two parts. This first video, which I'm releasing today, is just my first thoughts of Galactus, looking at just Galactus, not the heralds, looking at the packaging that he came in, and just the basics of Galactus, how to prepare him for your display, looking at these light up elements that he has built into him, how to put the batteries inside, and also how to change the head so that you can put the Galactus head or the Galactus face sculpt of your choice on Galactus for your display. And then I'll do a second video once I've had a bit longer to work with Galactus to look at his articulation, look at the 3 heralds in more detail, and I'll do my pros and cons list that I do when I review action figures in that second video. But this right now is just my first impressions of Galactus, and like I said, what you've got to do to get him ready for your displays. Let's get into it. And here we go, it is Haslab Galactus time. And actually, I've had to change up how I shoot because he's so big. So as you can see, he's on my display stand and he's to the right of where I normally film my pieces to camera. But because he's so large, in order to get the full shot of the size, the height of Galactus, I've had to move back and go on a gimbal. A little bit of camera chat for you there, but there you go. That is the full size of Galactus. I've got a tape measure, so I will show you how tall he is. I'm putting the tape measure at the base of Galactus up to his head. We've got, it looks like 75 centimeters, and then up to the top of the helm guards, we're looking at 79.5 centimeters, so a little over 31 inches tall. That is a big boy. And as a size comparison for Galactus and his head, if we take the Human Torch here, who might fly around against Galactus, you can see that the Human Torch is about the size of Galactus's head alone. There, that's a big action figure. Let's get in closer and have a look at all the detail. So this is how Galactus comes out of the packaging. Almost. I've actually added these 2 elements to his helmet, which come loose in the package. I say loose, you know, they're packaged very tightly, very securely, but you have to put them in order to complete the look, the helmet look of Galactus. And actually, the interesting thing about them is, to my knowledge, when trying to put them in the helmet, they only work one way. I couldn't see any L or R, sort of left or right clue as to which one of these elements should go on which side of Galactus's helm, but it only fits on one side. So you shouldn't really need to force it in much. There's a little bit of pressure that you need to put in order to secure it into the helmet, but actually these elements only fit on one side of the helmet itself. So, you know, I don't think they needed to say this one's the left and this one's the right, because actually it can only fit in one place. But there you go, that's the only addition I've made to Galactus since taking him out of the packaging. Otherwise, this is what he comes out as. You have this face attached to the head sculpt, and then the other alternate heads are still in the packaging. What I really like is the quality of the sculpting, like the different textures. If we go in here pretty close, you can kind of see that actually the purple texture has this sort of beehive hexagonal print to the sculpting, and then you have the lines in there as well, and that is the almost the undergarment to the rest of Galactus's armor, which is a different color, different texture, a hard plastic there. It's you know, rock solid plastic, but as you can see, even within that, they have different textures as well. So overall, like, we'll have a look, but you can kind of see all over Galactus, there's just different use of textures and plastics over and over that really make this action figure like a super collectible. You know, if you want a collectible as a Haslab, you know, something that actually is going to be really quite special in the years to come, that they're not going to release a replacement of it in the following year or anything like that, and not just because, oh, once it's funded, that's it, that's all you'll get. It's special because actually a lot of effort has gone into, I think, the sculpting and the design of Galactus. He's really, really impressive. Actually, let me show you what the packaging looks like as well very quickly. So with the exception of Galactus, you can see here, this is what you get. Obviously the large missing element is what Galactus was securely affixed to. Here we go, there's the Doom helm, the other interchangeable faces, which I'll show you how to do shortly. And then we have the Silver Surfer, Frankie Ray, and Marvel's Morg. Like, very impressive looking 6-inch action figures, nice additions, and there's obviously the Silver Surfer's intergalactic surfboard, and this is the packaging right there, which is really gorgeous. Like, the artwork is fantastic. And it's just, like I said, I've had to change up how I film this because it's just so big. I don't have the space to film it how I normally film my action figure reviews rather. And what I love about this in the corner, like it's a comic book, it's the Haslab issue number 2, because the first one from Marvel Legends was obviously the Sentinel. And here we go, number 2 is Galactus. That is how it comes packaged. And let's get back to the big man himself. Galactus, the second ever Marvel Legends Haslab. He's taller than the Sentinel, which I missed out on, sadly. I missed out on the Sentinel, but I'm so glad to have Galactus in my collection. I'm still, honestly, having only just unboxed it within the hour, and it took a while to take all the pieces out and have a look at him, I'm still a little overwhelmed by just how massive this behemoth of an action figure, of a collectible is. But what I thought we'd do is have a look at the head and how to change out the head and the face, the sort of mouthpiece of Galactus, just so that you know how it can be done. To my understanding, it's just resting on top of a neck joint. So actually you can move Galactus's head, he can turn from side to side, etc., but he can't really tilt up much, because as you can see, as I tilted him up, this comes off. So that is what his head is sitting on. This is sort of the neck piece, and there's a little light in there that the light should come through and shine through once we put some batteries in Galactus. But so there you go, that is the head. The head is free. The head is free. And what I would suggest is the easiest way to remove the mouthpiece is actually to take the head off like this, and then as you can see in here, let's see if I can give you a good shot there. You can kind of see the pink plastic of the mouthpiece there. And the easiest way that I've found is just pushing the mouthpiece out from there, and then it just comes off there. So you can kind of have a mouthless Galactus there. Here's the mouthpiece. And the interesting thing with the mouthpiece is they seem to have this little groove in the corners, and that seems to be, so far, what I've discovered is putting those little grooves into the corners of the mouthpiece sort of secures the mouthpiece in place. So we've taken one mouthpiece out. We're going to put this mouthpiece in. This, which, by the way, look how good that is. Look at the paint on those gnashers. Wow. They did a great job. The Hasbro team did a phenomenal job making this grimace really nasty. And how am I going to put it into here? Well, actually, I just kind of lay the chin down first, and then push the nose in, and then push the cheeks in. And like I said, those little grooves tend to catch the corners of the helmet where the mouthpiece will sit, and there you go. So there you go. That is Galactus and how to take out the mouthpiece. I'll do it again very quickly with the dead Galactus. So just take the head off, and as I said, you can just pop. Let's just see if we can get that a bit less glare, and then I'm just going to pop the mouthpiece out from within, just like that. Take the mouthpiece away, and then we've got the sort of dead, zombified, undead Galactus mouthpiece, which I'm not sure I'll be using much of, but yeah, I put the chin in, as I said, and then push the cheeks in, and boom, Galactus the undead. So that's how I've changed the mouthpiece, and similarly, as you can see how easy it is to take the head off, because it can rotate, move side to side, but then if you try and make them look up, it just comes right off. You can then take the Doom head, and here we go, Victor Von Doom, the most powerful man in the universe, as he's always wanted to be, and you can kind of see just how big the space is in order to put the head on Galactus. Let's just get that nice and cozy, and there you have it, Victor Von Doom as Galactus. Now the next thing I wanted to show you is how to put the batteries into Galactus in order to get the light elements to light up, which is this element here and these two here. I'm not sure if the eyes light up as well, but we'll find out. But yeah, so let me show you how to get into the battery compartments of Galactus, of which there are two. So what you're going to need in order to do this is 4 AAA batteries, a small Phillips head screwdriver, and by small I don't mean the size of the screwdriver is small, I mean the head of the screwdriver is for small screws, and then a little something that can get under the plastic grooves of the protective battery compartments without damaging the plastic. I've opted for a tiny flathead screwdriver here. Cool, so once you've got your batteries, your screwdriver, and something that you can open the compartments with, something a little small like that flathead screwdriver, there are 2 elements that you need to open in order to put the batteries into Galactus. So the first one is in the head element, and if you look at Galactus's head, you'll see he's got this sort of compartment here. So it goes at an angle, and it's worth remembering that it's at this angle. It follows the same track as the Galactus's helm, and just remember that this flat area goes at the back and this sort of raised grooved area goes at the front, because that's how it's going to fit back into place once you put the batteries in. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this out, which you can just pull out with a little bit of force. It'll come out quite easily, and then as you can see, there's this compartment here which we need to unscrew in order to put the batteries in it. So let's unscrew it and then put a little something into this handy little groove they've allowed for and push it up, and then you can take this compartment away to reveal where the batteries are going to go. Put the batteries into the compartment, seal it up, and then as I said, we're going to put this element here at the bottom, and this goes towards the face of the action figure, so it's going to slot in like that, nice and tidy. So actually you can kind of see how it fits in with the other dimensions of the helmet there. There we go, 1 battery pack done, 1 more to go. The second battery pack is on the back of Galactus. And this is the first time I've actually shown you the back of Galactus, which is a continuation of his armor, a continuation of that excellent hexagonal slash Art Deco tech inspired angles and shapes all over the buck of Galactus. But we're looking at where the batteries are going to go, and actually the batteries are going to go in here. So how do you do this bit? This compartment here, this element here, we're going to take off, and actually that just comes off quite nicely, quite smoothly with a little bit of force. So I'll show you that now. There we go, that element's been removed, and it reveals this neck piece here. So as you can see, this is the battery compartment. We're going to be unscrewing this screw here, lifting this base plate off, and we're going to be putting 2 more AAA batteries into Galactus here. There we go, the compartment is open, and we've got 2 batteries, 2 AAA batteries to put into Galactus. Okay, now that's all been screwed back into place, the batteries are in, we're going to put this element back onto Galactus's neck and shoulder blade area, and actually this is going back on the same way we took it off, with a little bit of force, a little bit of pressure, the blue dots going up. And there you have it, et vous voila! Galactus is battery powered ready. So the only instructions that have come with Galactus are these, which I've just talked you through. They're where to take out the compartment plates to put the batteries in place. And then it says this, which is how to, I assume, turn on Galactus's lights. So it looks like we've got one on his chest, which will be that one there, and that should turn on some lights. And then on the reverse of Galactus' head, there's one at the back of his head as well. So this is where things get a little bit interesting, because as you'll see, I press this light in. Oh, and we've got illumination. Outstanding. And actually, if I press it again, I'm not sure if it does, there you go, it sort of pulses. But that is really cool. That is working nicely. A little bit of flash there, but I think that's more my camera than Galactus's light. Really nice. And now looking at the reverse, you can also see the same chest button has lit up the back of Galactus as well, and it's pulsing there, which is really cool. Really, really nice effects to Galactus. So that, I think, is the neck compartment. Those 2 batteries are powering the back of Galactus and the front, the chest plate of Galactus as well. But the tricky thing now is I press what I think is meant to be the on switch for the headlights, and nothing seems to happen. Turning Galactus around here, and I'll press the buttons again at the back, and nothing. Now, I have in fact swapped the batteries before I started filming, because obviously this chest piece is working. So I knew that those 2 batteries are working. I swapped them around to see if maybe it was because I'd put 2 dud batteries into the headpiece instead. And I've also tried 2 new batteries as well. None of them seem to be getting the headpiece to work. I think there's a simple solution, and because this is such a new release, I've probably not done something quite right, or I need to just fiddle with it a little bit. So I don't want to jump the gun here. I'm going to take some time to have a deeper look at Galactus once I've put this video out. And there we go, Galactus, easily the most expensive Marvel Legend in my entire collection, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be the most expensive Marvel Legend in all of your collections as well if you got Galactus with last year's Haslab crowdfunder. Like I said, I'm going to take some time now, and then I'll shoot a second video after I've worked with Galactus. I've checked out his articulation in more detail, because every single finger moves, every single knuckle is a joint. There's so much to unpack here that I just couldn't do it in one video. I'm also going to talk about all 3 of the heralds that you get within this collection. We're going to look at this light in his head. As I said, I don't like to catastrophize. I don't want there to be a big old, oh, it didn't work, it's broken or whatever, because actually, this is hours after I've gotten him out of the box. It really might just be user error. So I'm going to have a better look at his headlights, going to try some different batteries as well. I know I've tried some already, but it might just be a run of bad luck as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please do hit that like button. As for new channels like mine, hitting the like button is the thing that tells the YouTube algorithm, hey, I'm enjoying this keep it going further. You don't have to subscribe, you don't have to share, you don't have to, nothing else. Just that one thing would do me a massive solid if you could hit that like button. If you're getting Galactus, or if he's arrived, please let me know in the comments below, because I'd be really curious to see if when you put the batteries in his headlights, he just lit up automatically. That'd be really helpful, because obviously we collectors, we got to look out for each other. So if you know something I don't, please put it in the comments below, because I will read those. As I said, thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back with Galactus very soon.